So Modern Warfare 2 has been out for the past 2 days. I believe on Friday, that is when the game finally officially came out for global release. If you had the Vault Edition, then you were able to play the campaign mode a week early before the game actually dropped. So, you've been able to experience it since then. Now, the campaign of it was great. But however, once we start getting into the release of Modern Warfare 2, the entire game, that's when we start to see everything kind of fall apart, or at least for me. So, let's just get straight into this. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this perk system. Now, I've played the beta. Okay. Now, I enjoyed the beta for what it was worth. I liked it. I appreciate them for, bringing COD back, or the Modern Warfare aspect of it. I appreciate them bringing it back to where we remembered it with that. You know what I mean? The realism and stuff like that. Cool. But however, that perk system, Infinity Ward, you've got to stop reinventing the wheel. Like, stop reinventing the wheel. You know what I mean? Like, the perk system, I hate it. I hate the new perk system. Because why are you taking perks that are normally known for being where they are, and you split them up and make them exclusive amongst the perks? You have 2 base perks, a bonus perk, and then an ultimate perk. The ultimate perk pretty much is like the pro version of a perk. So my thing is, the perk system doesn't allow for you to have counters to things. I've played in games where no faster than 45 seconds, maybe a minute, there's already an enemy UAV up, or there's already a UAV up. I've watched games go from running, gunning, to now we sitting back and camping in corners and waiting for somebody to peer around the corner. I've seen games turn into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that you would take a perk, you take perks, and you split them up into certain categories, and you make them only exclusive to the certain perks. I hate that system. Infinity Ward, why would you change up something that was never a problem to begin with before? Now, let me get into the next half of this whole perk system rant. Ghost is a highly coveted perk. All right. So I understand why it's in the ultimate spot. I understand it's in the pro perk spot. I get that. I know why you have it there, because once you earn it in the game, which I'm going to get into that too, once you earn that, it makes Ghost undetectable whether you're moving or not. So I get that it has its pro perks and it has its powers to it. I get it. But at the same exact time, what are people supposed to do, especially if we got to earn these perks? What are people supposed to do when all of a sudden 30 seconds go by and there's already a UAV up? How are we supposed to counteract that? There's no adapting. There's no getting good. There's nothing that you could possibly do other than slow down your game plan too, in order to counteract the fact that there is a UAV up. Here's a helpful suggestion, Infinity Ward. Take the perks, which I'm pretty sure season 1, which that's another thing I'm gonna talk about too. But in season 1, take the perks and allow them to be used in either base, bonus, or ultimate. Make sure that there's a pro version of each perk. Make sure that you can use any perk in any slot that you want, but beware, you can only do one or the other. You can't have Ghost in the base perk and then have Ghost in the pro perk. You can't have that. You know what I mean? Make it to where you can put them in any slot that you want, but beware, once you put it in that slot, you gotta make the choice: base, bonus, or pro, or whatever you want to call it, ultimate. Make a decision. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you allow people to have Ghost in the base perk and set it back to where it only works if you are on the move, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. I promise you we wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm using Ghost because that is the most used perk in this game. I don't see any other perk being used other than Ghost. You know what I'm saying? So why would you take a perk that pretty much everybody uses and relies on to try to get an edge over the competition. Why would you take that and make it to where it's an ultimate perk or a bonus, not a bonus perk, but you got to make it to where it's an ultimate perk that you earn within the game. I don't know if it's either between kills or if it's either between time elapsed to where you finally earn the ghost perk, but it takes the game and it taints it. I've watched several games. I've played in games. It's either happened to me or I've done it to people where it's gone from running the gun into now we sitting back and we're watching corners. I've watched it. I watched it several times, Infinity Ward. Stop reinventing the wheel. Put it back the way it was. Put it back. Now, next thing on the list, the Minimap. Okay, now let's keep it a stack here. The whole Minimap thing, the whole, the dots and stuff like that, let's keep it a stack here. Call of Duty has always trained us to look at the minimap anytime that there is a firefight going on to see exactly where these guys could possibly be. And at the same exact time, that same minimap, you also have it up there for when the UAV is sweeping over it to ping where the guys are. So therefore, Infinity Ward, we're not watching that compass up top. We're not watching that. If anything, you should give us an option whether or not we want to have the ping, the red dots ping on the compass or have them on the minimap. Don't have the minimap up there if we are not going to put it up there for its intended use where it's always been like that. Don't change a thing. Stop reinventing the wheel. I don't know who in the community said that was okay, but you've got to stop changing up stuff that has no business being changed. That is a big problem for me. You got guys playing the beta, bootlicking, ass kissing the whole 9 yards, acting like this game can't be better than what it needs to be. I'm so sick and tired of people always saying that, oh, it's the beta. It's only the beta. Stop worrying about it. It's not the full game. It's the beta. And you see exactly what has came out now. You see it. 110%, you see exactly what was in the beta being used now. And it gets on my nerves because y'all had that big update that came out a little before Modern Warfare 2 finally dropped for global release. You push out this big stupid patch, and now you got it set to where the pregame lobbies are so laggy that sometimes every here and again, which is very seldom it happens, where the actual lobby is smooth and you can run through it, but any other time it's literally stuck, it's sticking, it's lagging, it's freezing. You can't do anything that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you put a game out and at the same exact time you not QA I was a QA test, but you don't QA the game or you don't test it to make sure that this is, okay, cool. So let's do this. So let's do that. You don't put these updates out with the intent of it being smoother. You are bricking the game. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I can't stand, I hate the community so much because you got the ones who are super overly optimistic because it's a brand new game. Oh, this is a great game. I like it. Anything, if anybody has a problem with it, whether it's personal or whether it's a collective thing, oh, well, that's a skill issue. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, get better. I mean, you have to adapt. You can't play it like the last one. Like that corny ass pompous attitude, this overly optimistic attitude where, you live in this world where everything to you is perfect. You don't have issue with it. Go soak your head in a toilet. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets on my nerves. If you spend, whether it's 70, whether it's 90, whether it's $110, however much you spend on the game, you have every right to say what's wrong with it and what you want to see done to it. You have every right to do that. You have every right to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, next topic, flashbangs. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the flashbangs, I don't understand how this slipped through QA. I don't know how this happened. I don't know why nobody even raised the eyebrow with this yet. But with these flashbangs, ladies and gentlemen, let's break this down Barney style. A flashbang is intended to, anytime that you throw it somewhere, and if it's in the viewpoint of somebody that you throw it at, it is intended to blind and deafen them. Okay? Now, key word and heavy on, if it's in my viewpoint, it is to blind and deafen you. I've had several games where the flashbang has been thrown behind me, and it still flashes my entire screen white. How in the hell, Infinity Ward, do you go in here and you have these games set to where the flashbangs and stun grenades aren't even accounted for? Flashbangs going behind me do not stun me. They should not blind me. They shouldn't do anything. If it's not in my viewpoint, you whiffed on that flashbang throw. Stop acting like these flashbangs, there's nothing wrong with them. The community is a bunch of little 7, 8, 9, 10 little prepubescent teenagers that feel like they could be the next member of FaZe. Everybody seems to think that there's nothing wrong with this game. And I'm showing you right now. Matter of fact, let's take a look at this 2019 Modern Warfare clip. Now, to prove my point, what I'm trying to say is, okay, take this. I got a flashbang. I throw it. I'm looking right at it. Cool, I flash myself. All right, cool. The next half of that clip, I throw that same flashbang, same way, but I look away from it. And it still does not do anything to me. Why? Because it's not in my field of view. It's not in my field of view. So therefore, the effect that the flashbang is supposed to have, it's non-effective because I literally am shielding myself away from the flash. If I could find it somewhere, there was a clip where I was sitting in a building and I knew a guy was coming up again, touching back on my last point about slowing the game down and waiting for people to come around corners. So he throws a flashbang inside of the building. I saw when he threw it in there, so I turned around and I faced the corner because I was trying to make it to where the flashbang doesn't flash me if I look away from it. If I don't look at it, it won't flash me. It literally still blinded my entire screen. It's not like the flash was so intense that the reflection of it bounced off the walls and then therefore I was blind. No. It's set so high that flashbangs are overly effective. It's disgusting. How do you have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like the Modern Warfare 3 flashbang rage with FaZe Jev. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that. But flashbangs need to be tuned down. It's not a skill gap. It's not a player issue. This is a global issue. There's people talking about this now, but the simple fact that you put this game out and it's like this, I gotta fight through all of this stuff. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to quit out because there's something that's getting on my nerves, but at the same exact time, it's like, how incompetent are you to release a game like that with all these issues in them? Like, how slow are you? You know what I'm saying? Just because the community is kissing ass 24/7, that does not mean that you did a great job. There's things that can be built upon to be better than what you guys intentionally did. All right, so the next thing, inconsistent gunfights. I've had several iterations of those. Now, I'm going to show you a clip or two. And, of course, I have my shotgun. So, here's the thing. When I got my shotgun, I know that there's a certain distance where I say one shot kill, and I understand that at a certain distance, you're going to get hit markers. But I've seen several times where I'm in the same vicinity as the last, or the same distance that I killed the guy at in a one shot hit, and I go to the next guy, I get hit markers. I don't understand where exactly you guys are getting this from. You know, I know some people try to accuse Call of Duty of doing the whole active nerfing thing, but I really feel like this is strong here. Either that or it's the net coding, because there's no reason why, if I'm at a certain distance and I know it's a one shot kill, you know, you got that confidence where you standing somewhere, you know that's a one shot kill, like you got that amount of confidence in you. So that was what happened to me. I knew I had that one shot kill after I hit the last dude in the same vicinity or the same distance from me and him. So I already knew that was gonna be a kill. Lo and behold, it becomes a hit marker. Mind you, the same distance from the last guy I killed on the one shot kill. Now all of a sudden it's a hit marker. Like Infinity War, come on, man. Now the next clip I'm gonna show you, if I can find it, I have the SPR. Now that gun, I'm not gonna lie to you, that shouldn't be a marksman rifle. That should be a sniper rifle, but whatever. That's just a personal gripe. However, the SPR, I kill a guy with the same SPR that he dropped. I picked it up. I get a headshot on this one guy. Okay, cool. No problem. Now, he comes up, the same guy that I picked the weapon off of. I see him, he sees me. I aim center mass, and they called it a hit marker. He aimed center mass on me, and they literally called it a one-shot kill. How the hell does that happen? Explain to me, community. Explain to me, Infinity Ward, how in the hell is that considered fair? You mean to tell me that if something like this happens to you, I'm supposed to just shrug my shoulders and act like it's okay? That's okay. That's Call of Duty. That's what they do. No. If you guys stand so highly, if you stand and support so much of realism and trying to replicate realism as much as you possibly can, if that's the case, you've got to keep it consistent. Keep the same energy. Stop switching me up every single time I get into a gunfight. Cut it out. Because then see, at that point, Infinity Ward, I'm ready to put the game up, because it's no longer a player issue. It is now a global gameplay development issue that seemed to be overlooked because whatever you guys prioritize over that. That is a huge problem. There's no reason for you to have a gun on here, and to me, if I'm getting killed by it, it seems to be the most powerful thing. Then when I put it in my hands and I start getting kills, then all of a sudden now it becomes a hit marker machine. Now all of a sudden it's a hit marker. But I can come across a guy with the same kind of gun, and you mean to tell me that, oh, we aim for the same spot, he just got the kill. Oh well, get over it. Are you serious? So that's how you really want me to be a good sport about something that is supposed to be consistent. I understand that it's a video game, and stop with that stupid ass excuse. I get that it's a video game, but if you guys stand so highly on high quality and consistency and all that jazz, if you guys stand behind that, keep the same energy. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel to try to appease other players or try to put a wrench in the game plan and make it different. Cut it out. Because see, now at this point, you're starting to draw a divide between people in Infinity Ward. I don't know if you guys understand that or not, but stop touching stuff that doesn't need to be fixed. You got people that have spent their hard-earned money that they can't get back. And you guys decide to just go in here and just be all nonchalant about everything that you guys have done. Not too long ago, they just turned off the weapon tuning ability because somebody found a glitch where you could put 5 more attachments on after you got your 5 on there. You can stick 5 more and then make your gun completely like a demigod almost. You know what I'm saying? They just turned that off to investigate that. Now none of us can use the weapon tuning system. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, like, because there's a button that you're supposed to hit that allows you to bring up the weapon balancing thing, but now you can't even do it now because the button is gone. So whatever you got customized or whatever you got tuned, you can't use it now unless you take it off. Well, no, you can't. If you take it off and you put it on, if you put it back on, you lose your tune. So, do whatever you will with that. Let's see, what else is there? The lack of hardcore modes. Now, back to the old 2042 argument. Now, I wanna shed some light on this again, because the one thing I will say that Call of Duty did better than Battlefield is the fact that they had more weapons, and they didn't change the whole operators and give them special abilities. I appreciate that, okay? But at the same exact time, why in the hell is there no hardcore modes? As far as I'm concerned, in every year of Call of Duty, they always had the hardcore game modes at launch. So why in the fuck is there not a hardcore game mode? Not everybody likes to play core, Infinity Ward. Why do you not drop that game mode on day one? I don't care if you call it tier 1, whatever it is. Put it on hardcore. It should be there for people to play. There should not be only core. Not everybody plays core, Infinity Ward. Why are you that inconsiderate about people who play different modes? Okay, I'll put it to you like this. I only play team deathmatch. So because of that, do you think it'd be okay if you only had deathmatch on there? Or no? For a better thing, you can have your team deathmatch. You can set it to only play team deathmatch, but other players want to play domination, kill confirm, etc., etc., etc. But you can change the filter if you only want to play team deathmatch. Let's give everybody a chance to play their own favorite modes at their own discretion. So why is there not an actual playlist for hardcore? I wonder how that slipped through, Infinity Ward. Next. Lobbies being laggy, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but sometimes when the game is over with, for some weird reason, the game always seems to be all laggy and skippy, and it gets stuck. You can't really move around, whether you want to change your weapons, whether you're trying to see what your camos are. You can't really, do what you want to do, because for the simple fact of everything is like super laggy. So we got to wait for a patch to come out, but again, it's quite annoying. The weapon progression is super slow. I don't like the weapon progression because I'm putting in twice as much work to try to get these weapons upgraded, and it just feels like it's not beneficial of like what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I feel like I'm doing more than what I need to do. And I'm playing different modes, like between domination, team deathmatch, hard point, kill confirm, what's the other modes? I've been playing invasion. You know what I'm saying? Like there's other modes that I know I can play to try to, help add to me upgrading my weapons, but it's like, it's too slow. It's way too slow. It's way too slow. I've had games where I've put in crazy amounts of work, but it seems to me that no matter what I do, it seems like I'm doing twice as much the work to try to upgrade a weapon. You know what I mean? So that I don't like that, man. I just really don't. You know what I mean? So they need to bring the weapon progression up, bring that up some. But let's see. Last on my list, among many things, I've been talking too much now on the rant. But anyway, the animations. Now I've been wanting to talk about this before the beta was over with, or while the beta was going on. But the animations you have for, like, say for example, when you're calling in a UAV. Why do you have him pulling out a phone, unlocking the phone, and then hitting the button saying, okay, UAV called in? Why do you have these guys bringing up a tablet, taking the stylus out of the tablet, and that's how he picks and chooses where he wants to land the bombs? Like, why do you have so many animations that are useless? They eat up so much time. In 2019, they had it where if you called in UAV, he literally just moved his hand over to his shoulder as if he's radioing in a UAV, and it took like a split second. You know what I mean? When it comes to you activating dead silence. Not last year, but the last Call of Duty or the last Modern Warfare, when you called in dead silence, you just press the button and then immediately it was activated. Why do you have them pulling out some stupid contraption that's supposed to say, oh, okay, you're activating dead silence now. So you're pulling out some contraption, hitting the button on it or whatever it is you're doing to it, and that's considered you activating it. Like, you need a visual cue or a visual animation to say that you're activating this. Infinity Ward, let me let you in on a little secret. The less animations, the better. Now, we understand that you got to set to where these animations for weapons and stuff like that. I appreciate the attention to detail, but all the other stuff, cut down on the animations. You're eating up more time. You're eating up more time with these animations than you're doing anything else. I have to be more methodical as to where I'm putting or when I'm calling in these kill streaks. Matter of fact, just the UAV. I should not have to find a comfortable spot to call in a UAV. I shouldn't have to do that. And that's just me being real. I shouldn't have to call in a UAV sitting in the corner somewhere, or I got to find a safe spot to sit down somewhere so I can call the UAV in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't have to do that. I really honestly shouldn't have to do that. Stop with all this reinvention that you're taking the game and now you're putting a divide. You got people that are in the community that are yes men and don't have no problem with what you're doing. But you got people like myself that see the game and I see things that need to be worked on, but certain things don't need to be changed. I'm part of that community. But every time I turn around and look, you guys are always switching something around that did not need to be changed in the first place. Infinity Ward, I'm going to leave you guys with this. Now, I know I said it a lot. I'm trying to wrap this video up now. But you have got to stop reinventing the wheel. This is what happens when you put out a game. It's become just a big cluster to the point where now it's like, okay, what do I do? The player is now sitting there looking like, okay, what am I supposed to do? You're not letting me get these gunfights off consistently. You're not letting me be able to do what I need to do. You're not letting me do smart maneuvers like somebody throws a flashbang, I see it, I turn and look away. You're allowing them to still get away with stuff that shouldn't happen. If it's supposed to be realistic, ladies and gentlemen, Infinity Ward, you need to make sure that there's realistic things you can do to counteract that. Like I said, touching back on the flashbang thing. If it's supposed to be effective when I'm looking at it, then there's no reason for when I turn my back and look away from it that my screen should still be white. If anything, if you want to still give the effect, then give them the deafening effect. But other than that, flashing my screen white when I'm not looking at it, you are now crossing the line. Fix your game, Infinity Ward. Fix it. Because see, now at this point, you're pushing me away to the point where I just want to put it down and then just wait for season 1 to come out. But I don't want to do that. I still want to be able to hit max level and wait for the progression system to come out, or the season to come out, so I can go into prestige. I'm pushing through it. It's not easy, and it's sometimes I'm having fun with it, sometimes I'm not. But right now, I'm kind of on the downside with it, as you can tell. But Infinity Ward, put it back the way you had it. Stop touching shit that has nothing to do with changing, that has nothing to do with the core game as to what it used to be. Stop touching shit. Leave it the fuck alone.